Hello everybody, welcome to the Tree House. I am Tree and today we will be baking mango bread. But joining me and cooking or baking with me is my best friend, Jovie.
Hello everybody, I'm so excited to be here. This is fun. We'll find out how this mango bread comes out. I guess we'll talk more about the recipe because I think there's some things we're like, but it's fun. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for being here, Jovie. And guys, if I keep looking that way, I have her propped up on my phone. So if I keep looking over there, you know that I'm looking at her. So this mango bread I have actually baked years ago, I think over 10 years ago, and it was my very first time, and my other best friend was like, you did it wrong, it's so liquidy, you messed it up. And I cooked it twice in a row and it came out the same way, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Jovie here likes to bake, so she kind of knows, you know, what to do in that baking world, and hopefully you'll teach me a little bit.
Yeah, we shall see. I'm gonna tweak up like the different things. Like I'm gonna probably keep like dry ingredients with dry ingredients and like keep the wet ingredients, and maybe like beat the eggs and cream it with the sugar and see if maybe that's why it was a little bit liquid. I don't know. Well, we shall see.
I'm not a baker. I don't know how to bake.
I like baking. I don't like cooking. So
you don't like cooking at all? We're so opposite. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. The instructions are very simple, and okay, maybe we'll see if I mess this up or not.
We shall see.
It says we need to mix. Sorry, I have a little cheat sheet. So it says we have to combine eggs, oil, and the sugars with the dry ingredients. What do you think about that?
I think that's good because that's what I was going to do, like adding the wet ingredients and then mixing that and then just putting it into the dry and then mixing it that way. And I guess when we get to the mango part, this is where I'm going to maybe switch it up a little bit, but we should see how this goes.
I'll stick to the instructions and then you can do your own thing.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're gonna get started with, for me anyway, I'm gonna get started with the sugars and mix that in first. How about you, Jovie?
Mixing my sugars in as well.
So we have 3/4 cups of brown sugar and 3/4 cups of white sugar. I think that's a lot of sugar.
It really is a lot of sugar, so we shall see how this works out. I don't know if it's, like I know you said that Kinchuski's recipe came out really like watery or soupy, and I'm wondering if it's because maybe of the amount of sugar, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. I was going to experiment with it beforehand and like try to figure out why it's that way, but I was just like, you know what, we're just gonna go with it and see what happens.
So then I have my sugars all mixed up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add 3/4 cups of oil. Excuse me, I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna go ahead and mix the, okay, yeah, the oil. Should I do the oil next with the sugars or no?
If you would like to do that, I'm gonna like, I guess, cream the sugar with the eggs and mix that and then add the oil. But
okay, I'll do that too. You know what, let's experiment. Let's just do my original thought and get the oil first. I don't know if that makes any difference at all, so we're gonna go ahead and do the oil. 3/4 cups of oil, guys. And if anybody out there is like, oh my god, Tree doesn't know how to do anything, cook, bake, let me know if you want to be part of the video and you can teach me in my channel. You can teach me how to cook or bake on my channel.
Mix in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the opposite. I'm gonna beat my eggs and then put my sugar into it And then I'm gonna cream that, mix that, and then I'll add my oil into the mixture. Mix in, mix in, mix in.
And today, guys, Mama Tree is home. She is getting ready for work. And so if you hear her, if you see her, she's here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and beat the 3 eggs. I'm gonna move this to the side for now. One, 2, 3. So Jovie, before you beat your eggs, how long have you been baking?
Like, I'm not a professional baker, so don't think I'm out here making macarons and all those fancy things, but I think I started to get into or like baking when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Like, my parents bought me like an Easy Bake Oven, but the funny part is they never let me use the Easy Bake Oven because I always thought like I would like forget or would catch on fire. I don't know if it was like a light bulb that heated up your baking stuff, but I never got to use it, so I don't know what the point was. But I think around 10 or 11 is when I actually started like baking like box stuff like brownies and stuff like that. And then I think baking I gravitated towards so much because it's almost like an art. Like, you're decorating it and you're thinking of these fun ideas to put on like cakes and cupcakes and stuff. So I think that's why I really like it. A lot of people shy away from it. They're like, oh, it's too much measurements and the chemistry and like I have to have the exact amounts. I just want to put everything in a pot and mix it up and be done. I don't have time for all that. But I don't know. I guess there's a lot of patience involved, and it's funny because I don't have patience when it comes to baking. It's like a different, like, you're in your zone and it's just like yeah.
So the box stuff is me. That's, you know, it's already ready. You just tell me to add water and put it in the oven. I'm good to go. All right, guys, we're gonna beat up our eggs. Are you muted?
No.
Your thing is so quiet.
Really?
I thought you were
No. Is it really quiet? It seems loud on this end.
Oh, look at you. You're combining it slowly with the thing.
Because I want to make sure like it's all like even. Because you know, like if you don't mix it too well, like especially mixes, it can, like one part will be like extra dry and the other part will be like extra moist and mushy and you're like, what happened? Like, that's why you have to take your time with like mixing and stuff. Because some people are like rushing and just like mix, mix, mix.
That's me. I already beat my eggs. I'm gonna just throw it in. My eggs are in there along with the sugars. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it all in together. So, Kinchewski, if you're watching this, let us know. Are you cringing right now at what I'm doing? So let me show you guys the consistency of this right now.
I'll show you mine. It's kind of like a soupy glob right now with the oil, sugar, and eggs. So once we mix it up, hopefully it thickens up the dry stuff and then we have a good bread, cake, mango batter.
All right, so now that I have the sugar and the eggs mixed up, I'm gonna go ahead and add the flour. This is 2 cups of flour that I'll just mix in. And here we go.
So what makes you hate the process of baking?
I just don't think I have patience for it. And then measuring things, I'm thinking, you know, I'm following the instructions and the ingredients and the measurements, and then it doesn't come out right. And then my mom, she says, you know, the ovens are sometimes too hot, so you may have the heat at the temperature it suggests, but it's probably way too hot. So, and she's smart like that. She like turns it down a few degrees or whatever, and then hers comes out fine. So maybe I'm just like blasting everything I'm putting in the oven.
Sometimes some things like if it's too hot, it'll cook really fast on the outside, and then the inside will, you're like, what happened? It's all mush.
Right now, it's like thick.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a paste. If I could just, if I could describe it, it reminds me of poi.
Yeah, yeah. So for those of you who do not know, Jovie, her and I have been friends for 22 years now. And we didn't talk for about 8 years, and then just last year we kind of reconnected, and we actually have a podcast together. We met here in Hawaii, so that's why she referenced poi. She knows what that looks like. If you don't know what poi looks like, I'll have a picture right here. Check it out.
And it's definitely an acquired taste, for sure.
Do you like poi?
I don't. It has, if I could describe poi, it's like a very sticky, kind of pasty thing. If I'm describing it right, it's taro, is that correct? And they pound it?
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know if they add, I think it's just water they add to it, 100%. But it's very, I guess it balances the meal, because certain Hawaiian foods like lomi salmon, which is like a salted smoked salmon with tomatoes and onions, can be really salty. And the meats like kalua pork, which is a pork they stick in an emu, like it's an underground oven, can be salty. So I don't know if it's supposed to balance that, but it's an acquired taste. I don't know how to describe it. It's really tart.
There's kind of no flavor, but I love it. I like the starchiness of it. I don't know. It's just like water paste. Do you like that? Do you like the sound of that? But let me go ahead and show you guys what the consistency of this is. So this is what I got. Look at that. Okay, so now that is all mixed up, I'm gonna go ahead and add the baking soda. This is 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I love cinnamon.
I love the smell of cinnamon.
Look at that. I'm putting more work for myself. Maybe that's why it comes out so liquidy, because mine probably doesn't get mixed well. And that's one of the things too about baking. You have to like mix everything almost perfectly to combine it.
And then especially when you're measuring dry ingredients, a lot of people just scoop it up and then just throw it in there, and there's like amounts of like flour sitting on top. You have to make sure it's leveled, because if not, any small half teaspoon or whatever extra is sitting on that mountain of flour, it's might ruin your whole recipe.
Yeah, see, with cooking, add everything in there. You can always add more or just add water, you know. Add this, add that, and perfect. But with baking, once it's in the oven, that's it. And I guess that's what freaks me out. Because I've told this story many times, but my very first experience cooking with a boxed cake, we were throwing a surprise party for my mom, and I think I was about 10 or 11 at that time, and it said 1.5 cups of water. And what did I do? I put 11 cups of water. So you can imagine what kind of cake that was. It was just not a cake at all.
How many times did you have to go and fill? Did you have just like one of those glass, like 1 cup? Like, I'm imagining 11 cups.
I don't even know what I did.
But people were there. My mom was on her way home, and I think somebody went to the store and just grabbed a cake. But to this day, I don't remember what I did or what I used to put 11 cups. It might have been a measuring cup, and I'm just, you know, looking at it. 1, 2, 3.
I'm imagining this like big, huge bowl, and you're just like, la, la. At any point did you think like, this doesn't look right, or you were just like, I'm making a cake?
You know what? There were so many adults there that no one said anything. Like, no one saw me. The kitchen was not that big, so they weren't far away from me. Maybe they thought, oh, this girl's like creating a different type of cake.
Or they're just like, let her do her thing. She's creating a cake. She's filling, you know, she's doing her thing. Just let her do it.
It's for her mom, you know, aw. All right, now that I've added the cinnamon and the baking powder and the baking soda, it is now really, really thick.
It is. Mine's really thick. I'm surprised that it comes out watery, but I guess once everything dissolves, it kind of, we'll see. Maybe this will turn out great.
Yours looks way lighter. Mine looks really dark.
Yeah.
And yours has the cinnamon?
Yeah. 2 teaspoons, correct?
Yeah, 2 teaspoons. I don't know. Maybe it's the brand.
What brand do you have?
McCormick.
I have McCormick as well.
Oh. Maybe yours is just mixed to what better.
Fancy McCormick. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored at all. Not sponsored by McCormick. Yet. No, just kidding. Just kidding. You know, call me. No, just kidding. All right, so we're gonna put this on the side, and then we're gonna go ahead and chop up some mangoes. But I bought these a few days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and I just had it on the counter and let it ripen a little bit more. So I hope this is ready to go. They are very soft now, so I hope, yeah, these are good to go. A huge mess over here, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my space, and when I come back I will mix the mangoes with the batter, I guess. So I'll be back, Jovie.
And whilst Tree is out there cleaning up her mess, this is where I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't know if this is going to help me or hurt me, but I'm probably going to take probably a third or maybe half of my mangoes and just like mash it or puree it and then mix it in to what's already mixed in as far as the dry and wet ingredients, and then I will later do the next steps as far as the recipe. So I'm going to do that now while Tree's doing her little cleanup thing.
So from what I heard, Jovie's going to go ahead and puree the mangoes.
I'm doing that now. It didn't really come out puree, but it's good enough.
So what I'm going to do, like the instruction says, put your mangoes in here and fold it in. So that's what we're going to do. And just fold the mangoes. And I went ahead and preheated the oven to 350 degrees, so it should be ready by the time I finish all this. And I don't know what this is supposed to look like. I haven't seen a picture. I didn't even go look it up to have a reference photo of what a mango bread would look like. So this will be my own creation.
And this is my first time making mango bread as well, so we shall see how this turns out. I hope it's yummy. I feel like it would really be good, like, if it's really like a bread texture, to like toast it a little bit and then put like butter. I think that would be tasty.
Oh yes. Oh, I hope this comes out good because that sounds really good. I would love to do that. And it is easy to make if it comes out perfectly. It's kind of easy to make. You just gotta find mangoes. And oh man, I could eat this. But I don't know, I would want to modify it to have maybe less sugar or find an alternative form of sugar. Because this is a lot of sugar.
This is like an experiment for us right now, so we shall see how this turns out.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and kind of grease the pan a little bit. So I have just have oil and then a little brush and just coat the insides.
So what I did, of course, I did things a little bit different because always doing something different. But I have my loaf pan here, but what I did is I lined it with parchment. So it's a lot easier, say if I wanted to to lift it up so I don't have like, I'm not banging on the pan, or if I scrape the sides like the crumbs and it just, or say like half of the loaf comes out because the other side is really sticky. So I have mine with parchment, but whatever floats your boat.
Chunks of mango on mine, so I don't know how that's gonna turn out.
So this is how mine's looking, if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it all, but
all right guys, I'm gonna show you what this looks like. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven for 45 minutes, it says. 45 to 50 minutes, and I'll check back on it. And Jovie and I will come back. See ya. We'll be right back. All right guys, I've cleaned up the mess on this table. There's a few minutes left in the oven for the bread to bake, and Jovie and I are very, very excited. How do you think it's gonna turn out, Jovie?
I think it's going to turn out good. It took a while, but I kept poking in the middle. I was getting impatient, but it seemed like when I pulled it out, it came out clean, so that's a good sign. There was no moisture or anything, and when I took it out, it wasn't like jiggling or anything, so
that's good. Yeah, when I checked it the first time, I was like, oh wow, it is still watery, and it was almost the 45-minute mark, you know, and I'm like, it's still watery.
And you get scared because the outside starts browning and getting dark, and you don't want to get it burnt, and the inside's still like, I'm not ready, and you're like,
so the time I think is wrong. It is not 45 to 50 minutes. It is more like 60. More like yeah, 65 or yeah, 70 minutes long. Yeah, that's what it seems like. So Kinchuski, I think what happened years ago was that I just took it out really early. Based on your instructions, it was 45 minutes, and that's what I did, and it was still not cooked. So I think if I had left it in there for a little longer, it would have been just fine. But I think we're ready to take it out.
Yes, let's take it out and see.
Look at this.
Dang, yours looks so big. I have my mittens because it's still hot. But this is mine, so this is how mine came out. But it looks good, smells good. The cinnamon makes it yummy, so we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, it looks really good. Mine is super burnt at the top. It doesn't look as good as Jovie's, but it smells delicious, and I am just excited to see what it looks like on the inside, if it's still really wet. But it's been in there for more than an hour. So let's dig in. It's still very hot.
Okay, so here we go. It's the big reveal. I'm gonna lift mine out. It's still hot, so hopefully when I cut it, it'll still stay together. Let's see. Ooh, look at that.
Wow, that looks so good.
Ooh. It stayed form, so that's a good sign. Got my big old knife. I'm gonna cut on the edge. So let's see.
Wow, look at that.
It's still kind of a little wet. I wonder if it just needs to settle down. I mean, little chunks of mangoes and stuff in there. It smells good.
Okay, I'm gonna cut into it and see what this does. It is super crunchy at the top. Can you guys hear that? But you know what? It might taste really, really good because I kind of like that crust from baked goods, you know?
It's kind of like a biscotti, good with coffee.
Okay, well, I hope it's not that hard.
Or if it is, you can toast it even more and make mango biscotti.
Well, that's true. That came out clean. Okay, yeah, mine came out really wet as well.
Okay, it's the same texture.
Same texture. I'm gonna go closer to the camera so you guys can see. And you can see chunks of the mango.
I'm just gonna go use my hands.
Just use your hands, girl. That's totally fine. Here we go. I'm gonna take a crunchy egg. Cheers. You know, I was a bit skeptical with all the sugar.
But it's not that sweet. I almost want more like mango flavor though, for me.
Let me get some of this mango.
It reminds me of like banana bread.
I can taste the cinnamon. It is not sugary at all. And the mango cooks down where you can't really taste the strong mango flavor, which I kind of like because you get a little hint of it and it's really nice. So with everything together, it came out perfectly. So Kanchuski, maybe it depends on the pan that you use, but for this ceramic one that I have, it does need a little longer than 45 minutes. It needs more than an hour. But just watch it, and I keep poking it with a toothpick to see if I get that, raw batter still. And now it's done. It is crispy on the outside, but it sure is delicious on the inside.
This is like perfect for Tree because she doesn't like sweet stuff. It's like the perfect balance. And the toasted edges, the crispy edges are like, it's not even, because you would think, oh my god, it balances the texture because the outside's crispy and the inside's moist. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love the crunchy part. But I'm afraid that when it cools down, it's gonna be even crunchier, which will turn into the biscotti.
Right, but you can change it into that, right? You can take half, eat the first half, and then cut it up, and then cook it more in the oven, and you can have it with your coffee or tea. So,
Exactly.
versatile.
Guys, this was a success. I was scared to do this. I thought it was gonna be a fail, but it actually turned out great. And I wanna thank my best friend, Jovie for doing this with me today. And if you want us to bake some more things in the future, let us know in the comments down below. And we're gonna go ahead and do a podcast now, right?
Yes, we are. Like in the next hour and a half, we been all day together doing this. So hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Tree for letting me join the tree house and baking this. It came out great, even though we were kind of skeptical. And thank you, Kanchuski, for the recipe, because we doubted the recipe a little bit, but it came out great. So thank you.
And again, guys, thank you. And please hit that subscribe button. like it, share it, and turn on that notification bell to be notified for future episodes. And we'll see you all. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day. Be safe. Thank you, Jovie.
Thank you, Tree. Bye.